try. I woke up this morning, ever since been hearing about Iona Locke, it's just something that's just been playing in my head. Good morning, everybody. When you get on, just make sure you share the video, make sure you tag somebody, make sure you inbox this video to somebody, let somebody know King Jives is on. Also, make sure you hit the notification bell and subscribe. Anyways, let's go ahead and hit it. So I was thinking this morning, because I'm not able to shake this right now. I was thinking this morning how we have, like, for real, spiritual people that are leaving or checking out of here, passing, transitioning, and to some of us, we feel like they're going too soon. But let me help you out with something. They're not going too soon. Everybody's leaving right when it's time for them to leave. I'm not giving y'all preacher man voice. Everybody's leaving right when it's time for them to leave. Everybody's transitioning right when they need to transition. They're not gonna stay. Hear me? They're not gonna stay. You feel me? Like a good success story. A good success story always has a successor. Someone to continue on, someone to carry on what they have left behind. Now, one thing I know I can say about Bishop Iona Locke, and I have Bishop G.E. Patterson's picture up there as well. One thing I definitely can say about Bishop Iona Locke, for those of us who are familiar with her teachings, familiar with her preaching, her church, her life, period. Baby, this is something that, like, it's gonna always play in your head. It's gonna always play in your head like, oh man. When I think about G.E. Patterson, like, I think about his life, I think about his legacy, I think about his lineage. And it's like, that's the type of preacher that I wanted to be like. I didn't want to be him, but I wanted to be like that. A preacher that just preached the word. I'm not out here to hurt nobody's feelings. I'm not out here to try to cut nobody, to kill nobody, to throw no shade. I just want to give you the word so that you could live. And whatever is in that book, hear me, whatever is in that book, I want you to be able to take it and live by it. And when I think about Bishop Iona Locke, she did the same thing. It was like, listen, it's not about all this extra stuff, but I want you to live. I want you to get the word, and I want you to live. I want you to be able to get something in your spirit and live. Now, I look at these preachers nowadays, like last night, Juanita had this whole little special on, up here crying and cutting up and caring. I'm like, man, and everybody has their right, but it's like, you know what? Here's my thing with one, and y'all know I will rake her over the coals. Here's my thing with one, and that's this. Man, truth be told, there are messages that you have preached, and I know you may not like me, and nigga, I know I don't like you either. But there are messages that you have preached that will forever go down in history. Hear me. There are messages that woman has preached that will forever go down in history about holiness and sanctification and righteousness and holy living, not self-righteousness, not form of godliness, but holy living. Holy living. Not putting on like you just so deep and spiritual, but I just want to be right before God. Whatever I gotta do, I just want to be right with God. Forget man, Miss Catherine. I just want to be right with God. If my dress to me is too short or it's too long, well then let me just make sure that in my spirit that it's right. See, some of y'all acting all mystical and spiritual and stuff, but I just want to be right. See, that's how I grew up. That's how I grew up. I want to be right with you. I want to be right with God, because he's the one who's going to do in and everything for me, not you. Not you. He said, I'll make your name great. That's what he said. He said, I'll make your name great, and I'll take you wherever you need to be. I'll take you where you need to be. It won't be man, it'll be me, because you get the right connections. So you can be connected to all kind of people. But when you get the right connections and it's God, baby, you'll last throughout eternity. You'll never have to worry about eating a meal. You'll never have to worry about, oh, I got to pay that. No, I may not have what I want, but baby, I'm still out here surviving, period. All right. So the thing is, it's like these good gospel preachers, when you find yourself around or up under good gospel preachers, ooh, Lord. When you find yourself around or under good gospel preachers, you make sure you glean everything that you possibly can. Thank you, Miss Catherine. Ain't nobody got time for that mess. When you find yourself up under good gospel preachers, you glean all you can, and you soak that stuff in. Put that in your heart. Put that in your heart. Because again, these are messengers. These are vessels. Baby, they're passing along the way. They're passing through. Hear me? They're passing through. And when they're gone, sorry about that, y'all. When they're gone, they're gone. When they're gone, they're gone. Like everybody's out here, everybody's trying to stay connected to the hype. Everybody's trying to stay connected to the hype. It's not the hype. It's not the hype. It's not the hype. It's not the hype. Hear me? It's not the hype. Everybody's trying to stay connected to what's popping, what's new, baby, it ain't about that. See, these folks that can preach to you about all this stuff, these people can preach to you. These people can preach to you about all this inspirational stuff, but inspiration ain't gonna get you in. If you believe in heaven and hell, hear me. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. These were not perfect people. Iona wasn't perfect. She never preached she was perfect. Bishop G. Patterson never preached he was perfect. He just preached the gospel. I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to preach to you about my personal life. I'm not here to make you be my friend, but I want you to know that I am human. I am human. But see, we out here trying to be so common. See, my grandma taught me this. See, I grew up under saved, sanctified women. I grew up under saved, sanctified men. You know, I grew up under that, you know? And they never preach that I'm self-righteous, but they always preach, you just want to make sure that you are right with God. If you believe in God, if you believe in heaven and hell, you just want to make sure that you're right with God. Now, let me also say this. One thing I have to give deference to this person, and that's this. One thing I can say about Earl Carter, in spite of all of this that's going on with him right now, I remember sitting up under that man, and that man preached holiness. He believed and he preached holiness. Like for real, y'all, like he preached holiness. Now, here's the other part about that. Here's the other part about preaching holiness. A lot of these preachers had different lives behind the scene, but they made sure, hey, I made not do everything right. I may not do everything right, but it's still holiness or hell. How that go for me, that go for you, that go for Uncle Boom Boom and everybody else, them, that go for everybody. It don't matter. If my life don't line up with whatever you think the words say, your life don't line up with whatever you think the words say, it is still holiness without which no man, no woman shall see the Lord. We all gonna have to stand before him one day, one day. Just make sure that when you stand before him, that you've done your part. Just make sure that the mantles and the people that's gone on before you, that these are people that you can look to and remember what they taught you. Remember the ways of holiness that they taught you. I'm not gonna be here forever and always. Y'all, that's just a fact. I ain't gonna lie, y'all don't get me to crying on this thing because this thing is real. I'm not gonna be here forever and always. Woo, that thing just got real to me. I'm not gonna be here forever and always. But the fact of the matter is, whatever I say, whatever I teach, whatever I lay down, whatever I speak to you, it's gotta be something that's right. You don't hear me? It's gotta be something that's right. Because God is going to hold me accountable for everything that I tell you. I remember hearing this at a women's conference. It was mother, she was up teaching this. She said, God is going to hold you accountable. God is going to hold me accountable for everything that I tell you. And God is going to hold me accountable for what I don't tell you. You hear me? God is going to hold you accountable. That's why I'm at a point now, baby, it don't even matter no more. Y'all still sit up under these jackleg preachers and can on. There was a time, oh man, there was a time, y'all, that these preachers would preach so back in the day that they would tell you, hey y'all, so-and-so ain't right. Don't y'all go over there following that stuff. And like you would, and it was not anything, it was not anything to try to tell you can't fellowship with nobody, but they was looking out for your soul. Y'all talk back to me today. Y'all talk back to me today. I'm being for real, y'all. Y'all talk back to me. It was a time where holiness and sanctification was for real. And your preacher, your pastor was so on fire for the Lord that they told you, hey, y'all don't go over to so-and-so church. Y'all, I'm old school to my heart now. I can't fake the funk on that. Y'all, they said don't go over there because he wasn't right. And see, you didn't understand. Gene, you didn't understand because you was like, oh, they preach real good. Oh, they dance over there. But something about them was not right. Something about them was not right. And you didn't find out about it till later on. Okay, I'm going to give you a prime example. So there was a preacher in Lakeland, Florida. Excuse me, y'all, my sinuses. There was a preacher in Lakeland, Florida. The man was cute. He could preach. Oh, he could sing. He could do all of those things. Oh, my God. He was amazing. Oh, but my auntie and uncle was like, now, y'all, don't go over there fooling with that man. Don't go over there fooling with that man. He ain't right. And we got caught up in, oh, he's preaching real good. Oh, y'all just don't want us to fellowship. And y'all just hating because he got a following. Oh, y'all just hating. But they kept saying, listen to what I'm trying to tell you, baby. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. We didn't find out till later on that he was a liar and a manipulator, and he was around here sleeping with the little boys in the church. Molesting little boys. And now look at Eric D. Lloyd now from Lakeland, Florida. Look at him now, dead. Died from that mess. Look at that stuff. Look at now. Look can preach real good. Look at your prophet. You can prophesy real good. But your liturgy, your legacy died. You died a mess. You died and you got scandals and all kind of stuff attached to you, and you didn't want to do right. I can see you asking for forgiveness and God forgiving you, but it's another thing when you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. You don't mean forgiveness. You just want to look like you got it. The Bible also says you may fool some, even the very elect. You ain't gonna fool God's people. You ain't gonna fool God's people. No. You ain't gonna fool like God's for real people. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. Y'all are hype. And Juan, I know you listening. Juan, I know you listening because you always are. And let me tell you this right here, ma'am. And I mean this from my spirit. I know you watching me. I'm going to tell you this. Ma'am, you have always had the Spirit of God on the inside of you. I don't know, and I'm not quite sure where you got off at. Not quite sure. But let me tell you, you need to go back. You need to go back to where you was. Because this foolishness that you're doing now, this dumb stuff that you've gotten yourself involved in now, is gonna mess you up. Don't mess your legacy up. Don't mess your lineage up. You got pride, and you got a proud spirit. You got a proud spirit. Don't miss God. Don't miss God. You can leave here any day. You could leave here any day. And what is people gonna remember about you? They're not gonna remember the now. They're not gonna remember the now, but they're gonna remember the then. They're gonna remember how you used to preach back then, because folks don't even remember what you're preaching about now. Oh, you got 3 with me and 3 with me, the bees, and all this kind of foolishness and stuff like that. But it was your old teachings. It was your old messages that you preached that made people feel like, I just want to be holy. I just want to be righteous. I'm not trying to be no social media sensation. I just want God to be pleased. That's it. That's it. See, I can't really talk about Jamal Bryant, because Jamal Bryant has always been Jamal Bryant. Hear me? Brian Carn. The same thing go for you. So there was a time when you preached holiness, but you done got caught up in yourself and your name. Y'all don't hear me? You done got caught up in yourself and your name. You don't want God. You want the attention. You want the fame. You want the notoriety. Whatever happened to preaching to the soul of man? Oh my God, I forgot to even add another one on here. Prophet Nathan Simmons. Prophet Nathan Simmons. Prophet Nathaniel Simmons. That man preached. He preached to the soul of man. He preached it is holiness or hell. Honey, he wasn't trying to bash no gays, wasn't trying to bash no lesbians, wasn't trying to bash no woman in wedlock or whatever. Honey, I'm preaching to your soul. I'm preaching to your soul. Because if I die and leave here, I want what I speak to you. I want what I say to you to last. I want the message that I speak to you to last and to stick to your spirit. Because while we out here pop, bumping our gums, And we out here preaching all of this other stuff, but the right stuff. Our soul is at stake. 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 If you believe in sanctification and holiness and righteousness, just remember, oh, his car just got cleaned today. Just remember this. Your soul is at stake. Bishop G.E. Patterson preached that. It's still sanctification. It's still holiness. It's still righteousness. Baby, your soul is at stake here. Y'all don't hear me? Your soul is at stake. Your soul is at stake. We doing all this. We doing all this stuff, baby. Your soul is at stake. Your soul is at stake. We bumping our gums and talking all this mess. Your soul is at stake. And all we have now is the memories of these soldiers that have gone on. All we have now is the memories of a G.E. Patterson. All we have is the memories of a Nathan Simmons. All we have is the memories now of a Bishop Iona Locke. Those are messages. Those are people that I could still listen to their messages now and still feel the presence of God. Listen, I don't care what y'all say. I don't care what y'all say. I can still listen to G.E. Patterson today. Listen, I'm telling y'all, I could still listen to G.E. Patterson today and still feel the presence of God. Still. I remember growing up listening to Carolyn Showell, Jackie McCullough, Iona Locke, G.E. Patterson, even Bishop Jakes. See, back in the day, this was like maybe right when Bishop Jakes, this is when he was in Carolina, transitioning to the Potter's house, and the Potter's house was just getting there, and he was preaching "Woman, Thou Art Loose," and he was preaching manpower and stuff. Like, this was when it first started. He was preaching holiness and righteousness. It's those messages. Noah Jones was preaching holiness and righteousness. We done got off somewhere. We done got off somewhere. And so these preachers nowadays is just like a Eric D. Lloyd from Florida. It's just like a Eric D. Lloyd from Florida that died from having AIDS and sleeping around here with these young boys and carrying on. See, I'm not saying nothing's wrong with whatever, but I'm saying you can't. Y'all, that's a whole other topic. I ain't finna get into that right now because I don't want y'all to miss the message. Again, I don't want y'all to miss the message. But people are caught up in people like a Eric Lloyd. You look good. You sound good. Oh, you got notoriety and attention. Hear me, gospel singers. You got notoriety and attention. Oh, you sang real good. Oh, you can preach this. Oh, you know how to rip and run and take me up to a higher key. You know how to do all of those things. And you're still going to die a mess because you choose to appease your flesh more than appease God. Whatever happened to being pleasing to God instead of being pleasing to man? Whatever happened to that? We don't have real gospel singers now. We don't have real gospel singers now. Hear me? We don't have gospel singers now. We don't have gospel preachers now. See, y'all don't hear, somebody just said something about some drinking and stuff. See, let me tell you something. One thing I can appreciate about a bishop, Iona Locke, is that she broke the word down. She broke down drinking. She broke down the commands of God. She broke down God's name. She broke that stuff down and still ministered. Here, she still ministered. Some of these folks drank, but they knew the Bible said that you can drink, but don't be drunken. That's a whole nother topic. I ain't going there. Back to what I was saying about these other preachers and singers. We have preachers now that have a form, a performance of godliness, but you ain't got no power. I don't care about who you accept in your church. Y'all have a performance of godliness and you do not have no power. You have emotion. You have emotion. Emotion is what makes you get up there tap dancing and cutting a jig and emotion is what make you do it. Emotion is what make you get out here. But see, let me tell you something. I remember when G.E. Patterson would preach, Iona would preach, it would be a message that would make you dance. See, it would be a message that would make you dance because, listen, that message just hit my soul. And God, I thank you that I heard this word and I'm able to get myself together because this message has just pricked my spirit. And I got to do right. I got to do right. Yvonne, I miss church back in the day too. I was just telling somebody, I said that church, I miss church back in the day. I miss when we tarried on the altar. I miss when we sat up there and we came with anticipation of a move of God. I miss them days. I miss that. I miss when we would sit in church and it would just be like popcorn. Baby, somebody say, hey, glory. Hallelujah. Glory to God. Somebody else will pop up. And somebody, it just be like popcorn. And next thing you know, you didn't have no music. You didn't have no drums. You didn't have no Hammond B3. You didn't have no synthesizer. You didn't have no slap bass guitar. It was just the Spirit of God has come into the building and taken over. We ain't got that stuff now. We ain't got that stuff now. Honey, we ain't got this stuff now. We ain't got this stuff now. Honey, honey, we got to amp you up. Dun, 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 dun. Honey, we didn't have no dun, 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 dun. We didn't have that. We didn't have that. We just had the Spirit of God that would come in. And it would be like popcorn. Honey, and as the song say, honey, Jeremiah said it's like fire shut up in your bone. It'd be like fire shut up in your bones. See, I'm here to talk to the real saints. I'm here to talk to real saints who really know the Spirit of God and the presence of God. I'm not here to talk to self-righteous people. I don't care what you are, gay, straight, blind, crippled, crazy, in sin, out of sin. I'm here to talk to some saints that want to be real, some saints, angst, and friends that want to be real. And I don't care where you are in life. I just want God for real. Whatever the heck his name is, I want God for real. And if I need to know his name, what's his name? Yah? Okay, Yahweh. Okay, I want to talk to him. I want to be saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost for real, so that whatever I am in, if it's not right and if it's not pleasing to God, I want that. I want that type of spirit in my life. I want that type of spirit in my life. Y'all don't hear me today? Y'all don't hear me today? If me drinking wine is going to hinder my witness or going to hinder me, God prick my spirit. Y'all don't hear me. I'm serious. If me drinking wine is going to hinder me and my spirit, God, I want you to convict me, and I want to feel this thing, and I want you to take. Let me get real deep for y'all. Let me get real deep for y'all. If me being gay, I'm gonna touch the gay peoples. I'm gonna touch the gay peoples. God, if me being gay, and I know this is natural to me, and I know the saints don't like this when I say this, but God, if me being gay is wrong, convict my spirit. I don't want to be convicted by man, but I want to be convicted by you. I want to be convicted by you. And if I'm not convicted by you, God, give me the strength to keep on moving on and doing what I got to do. Because it's not about man, it's all about you. Y'all don't hear me today? Honey? Y'all don't hear me today? I'm serious. You don't hear me today? Y'all preachers out here got 4 and 5 wives, and y'all been married 3, 11, 30 times and carrying on. God, if me getting married to Sister Susie over here is wrong, God help me and convict my spirit. And if it's for me to stay single now that my wife is gone or my husband is gone, help me. I'm sorry, y'all. My phone died. Hey. I'm sorry, y'all. My phone had died. My apologies. But yeah, I'm not gonna change. I'm not gonna change that. I don't care. I don't care what nobody says or how you feel about what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna change that. That I'm not gonna change. That I'm not gonna change. I'm not. I'm not gonna change that. I'm not gonna change that because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna change that. I'm not gonna change that. It is still about, and the reason why we can't get people to come in to the house of God anymore is because there's been so much foolishness. There's been so much foolishness going on that we miss it. Y'all don't hear me? We miss it. Yes. The spirit of Ichabod has crept right on up in the church. And we've missed it. And we keep substituting it. We keep substituting God's spirit for whatever this mess is out here. We keep substituting it. But we're going to have to give an account. Y'all don't hear me today? Oh, yes. We're going to have to give an account for it. Y'all don't like this? You're going to have to give an account for every deed that you have done in your mortal body. You're going to have to give an account. Oh, he watching. Oh, he watching. Y'all may say, oh, Mario, that's old fogey preaching.